Today, I am joined by Inessa Love, co-founder along with Lisa Elfono of Sassy Silver Surfers, a woman who doesn't lay down and pretend that she's midlife and old. No way. Inessa took up surfing in midlife and didn't ask for permission. She paddled straight into a culture that tells older women to step back, slow down, and stay small. And she did the opposite, which I bloody love. What started with two women and some surfboards became a global movement of women reclaiming strength, joy, courage, and unapologetic presence in the ocean and in their lives. This isn't talking about surfing. This is about taking up space. It's about changing your mind, about refusing the story that midlife is the beginning of the end. And if you've ever felt the pull to do something that scares you and wondered if it's too late, this is the conversation for you. Inessa, welcome. One of my favorite sayings is surf hair, don't care. And I love that we've both just gotten out of the surf this morning.
Surf hair, don't care.
Surf hair, don't care. I love it.
Still wet.
Perfect. Perfect. So you are in Hawaii.
Yes.
And I love following your group. And you did a post the other day. And I went, I want to get you on this podcast because it was such an important kind of lesson for people to get. And that was, you posted about how initially you thought you were going to be a longboarder. And I lived this same journey, which is why it resonated with me. I went, I'm going to longboard. And I had a couple of 9'6" boards made, customs, all that stuff. And then I went, I'm scared. I'm too scared to go to the nose. And so I changed. And you posted exactly that, how you changed your mind about surfing from longboarding to kind of midi. Why was that such a big deal for you? And what did it cost you internally to admit it? What did it take for you to go, I don't want to ride a longboard?
Yeah, it's like you said in your introduction, we don't need permission. We can make our own goals. Isn't it liberating?
Yeah.
We don't have to live in the structure that's out there, right? In the linear progression. Okay, if you start being a surfer, you need to start doing this, going this direction. Well, I didn't follow that structure from the beginning. I started at 50, not when many people start to learn to surf, but now more than I thought do. So we'll talk about that later. But I think it's the liberation and the freedom of changing our mind, creating our own goals, right? Creating the goals that work for me today. And next year, I may have a different goal. I'm not committed to it. So when I actually started learning to surf, and I thought, well, to be a better surfer, you need to surf bigger waves. And I tried to slowly go from, 1 foot to 2 foot to 3 foot. And then at a certain point, I'm like, I'm not liking this anymore. This is too scary. I'm not here to perform. I'm here to enjoy. I'm here for health and fun and community and beauty and all of the other things outside performance mindset, which I had my whole life. I'm an academic. I tried to build a career, and we are taught to perform, to focus on progressing, getting better always. And I'm like, I don't need to be doing that anymore. If I surf 1 to 2 and 2 to 3, perfect. That's good for me. Like we talked with you. It's like, I'm having fun. That's what I'm here for. It's making me healthy. It's making me happier. It's giving me a reason to wake up in the morning that's not caffeine. Like I wake up to check the surf report.
Same. So do you think, so you took up surfing at 50. Do you mind me asking how old you are now?
55. So it's
55.
been 5 years.
So I took up surfing about your age, and I'll do 65 this year. So I know for me, I wouldn't have had that wisdom when I was younger. I would have just gone, Jen, you have to be able to do this. God, what is wrong with you? Were you the same, do you think? Would you have to achieve?
Yes, I was the same. I'm 5 years at it. And for the first couple of years, I felt terrible. Like I'm not performing good enough, right? I should be better by now. And why am I afraid of this big wave all of a sudden? I was always afraid of big waves anyway. But something shifted. I think this year something shifted for me, and I just decided that I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna do my own thing and enjoy my life, because ultimately it's really about enjoying our life, right? And here's such a short time. Why spend it being stressed and scared? Like, I didn't need the hobby that will stress and scare me. There's enough scary things in the world. I want my hobby to feel good too.
Were you scared at the start? Like when you first took up, was there a fear with it?
Yes, before my first lesson. So I had a bad experience in like a shore break, maybe 20 years ago. I just was at Virginia Beach, and the shore break was stronger than I expected. So I got slammed on the ground. Then as soon as I came up for air, I got slammed again. And that was a scary experience because I did not realize how powerful the ocean is. I didn't know before. I grew up on the Black Sea in Ukraine, and the waves are small, and I love to play in the waves, and I never had a bad experience like that. And all of a sudden, the ocean, Atlantic Ocean, that was such a different experience. So from that point on, I'm afraid of big waves. So when I started, how I started, okay, it was
I was going to
COVID,
ask that.
nothing
Yeah.
to do.
What made you
Yeah.
do it?
Yeah, exactly. And I never thought I'm going to surf. But before COVID, I got into hiking in Hawaii. So I loved hiking. I love being in the nature. And they closed hiking trails. It was COVID, they closed hiking trails, the stupidest thing to do, because it was very healthy activity and safe. And anyway, so there was really nothing to do, nothing. But in Hawaii, they obviously cannot close the ocean. So a friend told me, hey, let's take a surf lesson together. And that's the first thing I told her. I'm afraid of waves. I'm not taking a surf lesson. And she said, no, we're going to go in the little waves, little like 1 foot waves. And that's what I went. And my first realization after the lesson was, well, it wasn't that scary. That was my only criteria. Like, am I going to be scared or not? And then from then I realized that there's small waves and there are big waves, and it's a big difference.
Totally. So when you started, like to let go of the fear to cross the line and actually go in and have the class, and then deciding you don't want to surf bigger waves 5 years on, they're both big choices to make. Do you remember how you felt before you made those choices? Because a lot of women come to that point and they won't step over the line. They'll, that our old mind tries to keep us safe and we won't take that step. Do you remember how that felt in you and what made you actually take the step?
Felt uncomfortable. Like you said, like, okay, what's wrong with me, right? As a woman, I think we're pre-programmed to go into that track, like something wrong with me.
Yeah.
And then took me a while on going down that track, right? It wasn't immediate, but after a while, it's like you said in the beginning, I gave myself permission not to go in bigger waves. That's it. I am just fine if I don't ever surf bigger waves. And as I said, next year it may completely different. So I changed my goal now. Actually, I am riding a longboard, which I love. I'm like, okay, I can work on nose riding, because you can nose ride in 1 to 2 and 2 to 3. You can totally nose ride in small waves. And we all want a challenge. I still like a challenge. I like working toward a challenge. I think that's one thing that got me to stick with surfing. It was really challenging. And I like
Really
that
challenging.
aspect. But you can pick a challenge that feels too much, right? And set yourself up for quote unquote failure, or set yourself up for an unhappy experience. There's no failure, but they feel that way. But I feel like finding a goal that is just outside our comfort level, right? It's not too much. It's not so big that I'm just going to give up on it, but I need a goal to work towards something. I find that makes me happiest when I have a goal that feels fun and feels achievable and accessible. And that's kind of the sweet spot for me. Like if there's no goal, I feel like I'm stagnating, you know. And I spent like maybe 6 months of this year in that space because I didn't want to do bigger waves and I still haven't yet found my goal, my new goal. So in that period, I felt like not moving in a direction that feels good. And now that I have a little goal, I'm like, yeah, I am moving. I'm totally moving toward the goal. And what if I'm 55? I don't care, right? I can still learn to maybe not hang 10, but hang 5. I feel it's achievable.
Love it. Love it. Good. Oh, I love a stretch five. So how is the lineup over there in Hawaii where you surf mostly? Is that, a large amount of men? Is everyone cool? Like here, when I first started nearly 10 years ago, women, we were absolute the minority. However, really recently, especially the summer kind of swell here, uh, so many times women have dominated in numbers in the lineup, but there's still those guys who'll snake us and try and cut us off and drop in and things. Not as many as there used to be, but they're still there. How do you find being in a traditionally wrongly male dominated sport?
Yeah, we can have a whole conversation about that. And it is challenging. There are definitely, and it's changing slowly, maybe not fast enough. I've had certainly my share of experiences with men being told me to leave the break that I was at, and I've posted on Instagram. And those were some of my most viral posts, in fact, because it created so much controversy, whether I should have been there or shouldn't have been there on that particular day. So it's definitely a hot topic in the community, I would say. The relationship with like how men, some of them very welcoming, and I've had the best experiences, and some of them are not welcoming. And it's probably just a mirror of the rest of our life too. As a woman, we go through life and we experience different kind of reactions from men, and some are very supportive. My most favorite mentors have been men in my life.
Yeah.
And some are like, not so much. So I don't think it's really different in surfing than it's with the rest of the world. It's like a mirror, right?
Nicely said. How do you not feel, because I know some girls that I know feel too intimidated to surf some breaks because of the
Yeah,
number of the
I
guys and
don't.
stuff for
I
safety.
don't serve those breaks.
Exactly. I don't either. I just choose, yeah, I surf how I want to surf and I'll pick my battles.
Yeah, exactly. And that's similar decision is I don't have anything to prove. I don't need to
Yeah.
fight for my fun and pleasure. It's my hobby. It's my hobby. I just want to enjoy it. So I don't go on certain days to certain breaks. I have to serve my rules of where I would go and when. And
I think that's wise. I'm the same. So as society kind of subtly trains women to think that they should take up less space as we get older. And I'm curious what surfing's helped you with to teach you about your space you take out in the world and how you hold yourself physically, emotionally, socially. Because I know my mob of rat bags that I hang around with, one of us on our own is quite quiet, but you get a few of us together and we're like, get out of our way. In
yeah,
a
and
really
that's
positive way. We're so loud and supportive of each other.
fine. That's our strength as midlife women is support of other midlife women. Our strengthens us in numbers in the community. That's definitely one of the things. How am I taking more space? Even that Instagram example, I would have never put myself out there, expose myself, being vulnerable, and being okay with now 13,000 people following my account. Like that's taking space. I took some space in that social media world that I wasn't comfortable taking before. right? So that's one example of how, like, okay, I'm just going to do it. I don't need anyone's permission. And in the beginning, when I had 200 followers, that was really comfortable. And I had that feeling is like, wow, how is it going to feel like to have 1,000? You know, I need to expand my space. It's energetic, right? It's,
Yeah.
you know, you work with energy. It's like being comfortable, but energetically. And so it took me a little while to recalibrate and yeah, take that space. And now I want to like write a book, and it's another big project that
Yeah.
feels, you know, I feel it's achievable, but it's quite a big stretch. So that's my next goal personally. And it's a book about Sassy Silver Surfers that I want to write about my community, about people like me. Because when I started, I thought I was an exception. Starting to learn at 50, I thought I was really strange and different. And it's not.
Mm.
It's not. You started at 55. Yesterday I posted a story of 56-year-old woman who went on her first retreat. My next story is going to be about 62-year-old woman who went on her first retreat. And like, there is no limit. I've posted stories about someone who was 70, Susan Perot, another writer. She was 70 when she decided, okay, this is time. I'm going to do it. She's wanted to for a long time. And so there is no limit of how, you know, I mean, there is a limit, but it's much further than we thought it is. We are mortal humans. So there's definitely, I don't want to say there is no limit, but it's much further out than I personally thought it was.
One of the women in our documentary, The Taking Off, Margie, she took up surfing at 69, and that chick's out in the water every day, and she's now what, 74, 73.
Amazing.
Like,
yeah.
There's no rules. And there's a video that was going around of a woman in her 90s in New Zealand. Now, New Zealand's got bloody cold water, and she just rides on a belly. But what a way to stay alive. I agree. I think limits are, we impose them on ourselves.
Yeah. And this thing about staying small, it's so misguided, because I feel like midlife, it's the time for us to do these crazy things, which we, you know, most of the people, if you have career, you have children, you have blah, 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 we're busy when we're younger. And now a lot of us, like children left home, career is hopefully stable. This is the time to do something big. It's not the time to get smaller. And that's why so many women like finally pursuing their dreams. And the stories I hear is like, I wanted to surf since I was a kid, and finally I'm getting out there. So many stories I hear like that. And I think midlife is for exactly this, exploring what the dreams we've had, and really exploring our true potential, which is much bigger than we thought. The potential that we have, the strength that we can still build, like even people in their 60s and 70s, they're getting stronger. So it's, yes, if you don't do anything, we lose muscle mass. But if you do something, you actually gain strength. I am still getting stronger. And so many people I talk to profile on my page, they're still getting stronger. It's just moving our bodies, and our bodies are going to respond.
So what do you think, what belief about aging did surfing completely blow out of the water for you? Like physically that you felt in your body? Yes, gaining muscle still. What else?
Yeah, that here's how I like to put it. There's this saying, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yes.
I don't like it, because it's a fear-based. It says what you're going to lose, right? Watch out. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it. It's like that kind of. What I like is the opposite. The more we move, the stronger we become. Because that's just the positive. It tells you what to do to get stronger. It's not fear-based, it's a promise-based. The promise is that the more you move, the stronger you become. It's just like 1 + 1 = 2. It's just no other way. So that's my mantra. That's really my mantra. On days when I don't want to move, I remember that mantra. Of course, I take a rest day once in a while, but a lot of the time I'm like, yeah, this is it. This is exactly what I learned. I don't like the fear-based rule. I like the promise-based rule, hope-based rule.
I'm with you. I'm
That's
all
one of
about that.
them. That's my favorite one. And you can do it at any age. It applies regardless. The more you move, the stronger you become. So you just have to move more. That's the only thing. You have to move more.
I agree. I agree. So, what do you think the difference is between choosing to quitting?
Mm.
Because there's a mindset in some people. When you said the negative, I thought there's a thing. So some women go, "Nah, it's too hard, I quit," versus too hard for now, like you say, I choose to do this. What do you think is the difference for you?
I
How do
guess
you
it's
tell the
if
difference?
you if it's make you happy, then it's a good choice, right? Because you choose something and you feel, yes, that's the thing I want, right? That's the thing. Um, it's if you feel like quitting, it feels like a bummer. It's horrible. Why don't redefining? So that's the thing that I also post on my page is read how we define progress, how we define happiness, if you wish. Um, it's not by pushing harder all the time, right? It's really just following our aliveness, following what's alive for me to do, what's gonna make the best of this moment, of this life. Because they say, as I think, we are here to make the best of it. So yeah, we have to redefine our goals. We have to find what is it that makes us the happiest. Ultimately, I believe in that. It's ultimately about choosing what makes us happiest.
Agree. And if anyone listening to this is not yet following the Sassy Silver Surfers, do it because it's so bloody inspiring,
Mm.
especially if you're a midlife woman. So make sure you check it out. I'll put the link below the podcast everywhere. Just make sure you check it out. Start following Inessa and the crew because yeah, we have the Surf Witches Board Riders Club, our community, and there's so many. Your vibes are so similar to what we create too. And interesting, 50% of our club are over 50s, and most of those women all came to surfing later in life, and the majority came in during COVID. It's been a really
Mm.
interesting transition in the surfing world.
Absolutely. And in fact, there are data to say that since COVID, Australia actually has really good data about people engaged in different sports activities. US does not have that kind of level of detailed data. But
We're
there
a
is
sporty
reports in
country.
Australia that it's been grown like 45% participation of women 50 and over since COVID.
Mm, yeah,
It's this sort
go
of
the girls.
coalition, merging of the societal movement that support midlife women, right? There's all these new things about menopause and midlife. Is it not what we thought it was? So it's kind of a societal wave, if you wish, of us reclaiming our strengths. And so I feel women are doing it on a much broader scale than surfing. And of course, surfing is one outlet in which we can truly test and reclaim our strength. But what you said in the beginning, what I like is my page is we use the language of surfing, but the deeper message is about that, is about reclaiming our strength. A lot of people who follow me are not surfers. They just like the inspiration. Maybe they're gonna pick up, I don't know, boxing or something different. You don't have to be a surfer, but you have to find something that, like you said, take your space. That's what I really want midlife women to just thrive, because I feel like the world is going to be a better place if more midlife women find their power, because we're just so powerful.
We are. We're the
We're so
most
powerful
powerful.
being, especially in the community. And we can just really change the world for the better by actually nothing else but making ourselves happy. That's the
Yeah.
best thing we can do for the world, is like make yourself happy. It's not selfish. I feel like it's the gift to those around us, because if I'm happy, people around me are going to benefit, and I'm going to channel that energy into something productive and positive. So I find like the more midlife women can reclaim that power and taking space and having courage to try something new. And the community is also very, very important. We're not meant to do this alone. This is like the worst thing they can do to us, is you say, you have to do this alone. It's not alone. That's why I started the group first with Lisa Alfono. We started the Sassy Silver Surfers Facebook group. Now there are like more than 1,000 women from all over the world. So we can know we're not alone. It's really, really important, the community, especially at this time in our life when, I don't know, maybe kids leave and our lives are reshaping. So find the community wherever you can, even if you just have one friend, and then two of you go do something together, because it is intimidating on your own. But if two of you or three of you do something together, that's power.
Agree. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, you have a social media presence on Instagram and Facebook group, and social media kind of puts it out there. We should be these tidy, neat, pristine, whatever's perfect looking people. What part of your surfing journey doesn't photograph well, but matters the most?
Doesn't photograph well. That's funny. I was testing out my new GoPro the other day, and I was in the car and the lighting was terrible. And I looked at that video and I looked like 20 years older than I was, and I was horrified. Of course, I'm a woman. I want to look pretty no matter the age. I think it's a natural inclination. So that wasn't really a good picture. As far as surfing, another thing I've noticed is when I first started posting, I was all covered. I actually wore the hat, the long sleeve shirt, the long pants, my gloves, and my booties. That's how I surf. If you scroll like 6 months ago on
Wow.
my
Because
Instagram,
the water was cold?
well, I'm in Hawaii. It wasn't cold. I don't know. It probably part of it is mental blocks of
Yeah.
not showing myself,
Body
right?
confidence. Yeah, I get it.
It's just
Yeah.
like being more protected, right? I'm covered, I'm more protected. And the last video I made on Christmas, I went in the bikini, no booties, no gloves, and nothing. I was in the bikini, but I still wear a hat because it has a helmet hat. So I'm not giving that up. But I was thinking about it, how I slowly gave up one thing at a time. So first the pants, then the gloves, then the booties. And that's about like showing up. Like I showed up with my red hair. And at the same time, I do want to look pretty. That video that I took of me that looked so much older, I didn't like it. I cannot say I liked it a lot.
Mhm.
But I think it's becoming more comfortable in my own skin, and like, yeah, if I want to surf in the bikini, I will. And if I want to be all covered, I will. So it's like almost it really doesn't matter now anymore. I can go either way. I have a choice. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
I had a story from actually a woman from Australia, Justy. I love that post a while back, and she had the same experience. She's the one who made me think about it. On her first lesson, she said she wore 4 layers of clothing, 4 layers, because she didn't want her body to be seen. She's a midlife woman, right? We don't have perfect bodies. And then she was at the end of her journey when I made a post, not at the end, but like whatever, how much time later, she was in like swimsuit, totally happy about her body. That's the transformation. After I posted that story, I started thinking about my own journey, and I think I've gone through something similar. She
Yeah.
was more aware of it than me, but it's just becoming at peace with the body we've got, and just like enjoying the most we can.
Yeah. I think of it so often when I just strip off at the car after a surf and put other clothes on. It's like I wouldn't strip off in the shopping center car park down to me jocks, and yet I do it every day when I go surfing. And it's just it is, and that's become a comfort over time. That I'm a like a short John or a short Jane kind of thing most of the time, so I don't get a board rash with the on the legs. But and I'm a dykey. I like that kind of look, that or board shorts kind of look. So I'm not going to end up in a bikini. But my wife Alice, who's turned 63 in 2 weeks, she doesn't just surf in a bikini, but she runs the beach on the sand every day, does 5Ks in a bikini, summer, winter. I fucking love it. Just you, be
Yeah.
you. And definitely, there's so much scope for us to grow into that. And I get on Instagram and Facebook all the time with, that's why I say surf hair, don't care. Like I'll just get out of the surf and look like a bag of shit. And then, I'm the happiest person on the planet compared to the person who's done themselves up all beautiful. It's interesting.
Yeah. And the culture, the mainstream culture doesn't help with how profile surfers, right? There's always young girls with a G-string. I'm never going to surf in a G-string. I'll surf in a bikini.
Floss.
And there's nothing wrong with it. But I think what I don't like is it's only one choice. If they show, okay, you can have a G-string, you can have a bikini, you can have a short jean, you can have fully covered, and they all good. That's my philosophy.
Yeah.
All these choices are available at any time, and no choice is better than the other. G-string is fine if you love it. Fully
Do what
covered
works for
is
you.
fine if you love it. It's just not having this idea that to be a surfer, you need to look a certain way, or to be happy, you need to just be that. No, I think all of it is just as valid and perfectly good.
Yeah, love it. So, Inessa, what do you think that midlife women need to unlearn the fastest if they want to stay powerful in life and not just kind of passive in life? Like, not just fit and active, but truly standing in their power. What do they need to let go of?
I think the main thing is a belief. What you started is that midlife, and as we get older, it's time to downhill, fading, and shrinking. That's the core belief we need to change, because if that belief is still there, nothing else is happening. I feel it's like the key. Once you translate that belief and you no longer believe that, it opens all these possibilities for you that you can explore, right? So I would say that's the core limiting belief, that as we get older, it's dreadful. And I was the first one who say I was dreading getting older. I was the first one to admit that I used to dread getting older, and maybe I still do on some level, I have to be honest, but it changed a lot because of that, just changing this idea that it's all downhill. No, it's not, right? So once we change that belief, then you start asking, hey, what else do I want to try? What else do I want to explore? What do I want to learn? Life isn't over until our last breath. We can keep learning. We can keep growing until the day we die. And why not? Because I don't know, I feel like it makes for a better life. That's what I would say my key thing to unlearn is that older is always going to be, things going to get worse for you. Yes, we're going to have challenges. I'm not like a Pollyanna type of person. We're going to have challenges, but still we get also gifts to go with that. There are gifts of being older that we did not have before.
Yeah.
That are there to find. It's like you're playing video game and there's obstacles and there is like this little gold coins that you collect. And it's like that. Every age is like a video game. Every age has its own obstacles and every age has those gold coins. So let's look for the gold coins and avoid the obstacles as much as we can. And that's how I think.
I love that analogy. That's actually really cool. Yeah. Hey, so has there been any moments actually in the water that you just thought, fuck, maybe I am too old for this? And you were able to turn it around in your brain?
No, I don't think I'm too old anymore. I would think these conditions are not right for me. Or
Oh,
like I'm
great
just not.
reframe. Oh,
I'm just not skilled quite yet for this. Today, actually, just really good example. I went with my friend to a break I never go to, and it was bigger than I expected. And I didn't have the greatest time, but I'm like, I don't have to go to this kind of conditions. It's fine. So yeah, reframing it in a way that makes me feel good rather than bad. Because if I have a choice, I'd rather feel good rather than bad.
totally. I'm with you. So if you were talking to a woman who's standing at her point thinking, it's like a change your mind moment, terrified, feeling judged already, second guessing herself, what would you tell her to do next? Not in the future, but like right now. What's one thing you would tell her so she could take that step?
What would be fun to try? There is no obligation. There is no thing we have to do. We don't have to put ourselves in a scary situation. What would be fun to try?
So look for the
That's,
fun in whatever they're being challenged with. I love that.
well, yeah, because maybe that challenge is not for today, but some other challenge will be for today, right? It's like when you're terrified about taking a step, it may be a wrong step for today. Because I don't think we need to work through being terrified. I think we need to change the step, because there's some step that would sound fun. And fun is, oh gosh, not to get too philosophical, but that's an indication that we're on the right track, right? It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, okay, this is fun for me. You want to rollerblade? Does it sound like fun? Then do that. Or whatever it is that sounds like fun for you. And it's okay to stretch a little bit. We want to, as I said, I like to learn and grow, but it's not about being terrified and somehow pushing through that. I don't believe.
Yeah, I agree.
Terrified is this also the signal that no, this is not the right moment for it. And we're not a failure. It's just, sometimes you show up and it's not the right condition, and you just say, it wasn't the right day for me to be out there.
Do you think that's the wisdom of age?
I don't know if it's wisdom. Uh, it feels right to me. Yeah,
Mm.
I am about happiness and fun. I teach happiness economics at the university. I never mentioned I'm actually an economics professor, but the type of economics I like to teach is I call it happiness economics. We can have a whole lot of conversation about it. Yeah, I teach University of Hawaii, and there is a course economics of happiness. Anyone can take that.
Wow, we need to have you back on another day to talk about happiness economics. Where I'm so up for that. That would be cool. All right. What have we not talked about today so far, Inessa, that you really want to speak into?
One thing is that help us all, and I know it helped me, is look for role models. Look for other women who are doing what you want to be doing. Because then that's part of why I have my page and why I post stories of other women. First of all, they are role models for me. Anytime I have a woman in their 60s, 70s doing something that I want to be doing that at that age. And I feel like as women, having role models is even more important to us because we're really more susceptible to that cultural sort of negativity. Men experience ageism too, but men are less susceptible to that. Do you know that? There is actually research that shows that women are more susceptible to negative messages. So to overcome that is looking for role models. There, luckily right now on social media, there's a lot of older people doing amazing things. I would collect those stories. And that's exactly why I'm posting all these stories on my page to provide role models for us so we can see what's possible. Because we've talked about the community, we've talked about the movement. This is one thing we haven't talked about, and I find it's very important. Before, like this woman who joined our group, before she found us, she said she had a folder of putting all those inspirational stories into a folder. So when we feel like down or when that creeps up, like I'm too old, okay, open that folder and look at all these pictures of women in their 80s and 90s doing amazing things. There is one woman who did Iron Man, became the oldest
In
woman
her 80s in
ever.
Hawaii. Yeah, I saw her.
Natalia, and I reshared her story. And Iron Man, it's insane.
Yeah.
Like what it requires, but like collecting those stories and having that folder, because as you started this, the cultural messages is so heavy and still so strong. And it's like paddling against the current. It's like paddling against the current. So the things we can help us with is collecting role models that inspire you and finding other like-minded people, the community, which we already talked about. So that's what I would add.
I love it. Inessa Love, if you could go back to your 18-year-old self and give yourself one piece of wisdom with the, with who you are today, what would you tell your 18-year-old self?
I don't know. I think all my life I tried to fit in, and it's been hard. And maybe the wisdom would be that it's okay if you don't fit in. Be yourself. Kind of don't fit in. Don't fit in. It's fine. Like I
Just
stopped fighting to fit in. I came, as I said, from Ukraine when I was 24. And for my whole life, I felt I wasn't here nor there. I was neither an American and I was no longer Ukrainian. And I couldn't fit in when I went back home, and I couldn't fit in this culture. And I went into economics, which is heavily male-dominated field. Talking about a woman in a male-dominated field, I never fit in. I didn't fit in. Even though I've done well in my career, I never felt like I fit in there. So it's like so much energy been spent on that idea of fitting in. And now it's like, don't fit in. It's fine.
Just be you.
I cannot say I'm completely over it, but I'm just working toward it, I guess, to just like not having to fit in, whether professionally, whether fitting in that surf break, whether fitting the image of what a woman should look like. There's so many ways we impose that pressure on ourselves. And I wish I didn't have that much pressure when I was younger. I felt like I was sort of swimming upstream a lot.
Yeah. Well, I've been the black sheep of the family as the big old dyke my whole adult life and have never fit in, but at the same time, like you, I've not let it hold me back. You've crafted a great life, and I love that you're a professor in such a male-dominated industry. That's so good. So good to chat to you today. And for seriously, I would love to have you back in the future to talk about fun economics. I think that would just be cool.
Talk about economics of happiness. That's a good conversation. Yeah, it was
Especially in
great.
today's days.
I love meeting you in person like that. I love your documentary. I love what you're doing, empowering women and being a badass. That's the only way I can say.
Well, from one badass to another, I've loved chatting to you today. Thank you.
My pleasure.